This story sounds like something from a movie, but it really happened. Picture this. An old mining hole buried under the cold and dangerous ground of Yukon suddenly falls apart. And inside all the broken rocks and dirt, Parker Schnabel's team finds a huge treasure that people say is worth $75 million. Yes, that crazy scene from Gold Rush that shocked everyone. Parker has always been known for taking big risks when looking for gold, but this time was different. Going into an old broken tunnel, digging out the dirt, and then suddenly seeing shiny gold everywhere. This isn't the exciting ending of a Hollywood movie. It's what really happened on Gold Rush. But here's the big question. Is this really Parker's biggest win ever? Or is there some other huge secret hidden behind all this gold? People say that the land in Yukon doesn't just hold gold. It also holds scary stories. When Parker and his team went down into the hole, they probably didn't know how dangerous it was going to be. Tunnels falling down, rocks dropping from above, and life-threatening dangers everywhere they looked. But when gold started shining in the light, the whole team couldn't believe their eyes. What's the real story behind this $75 million gold discovery? Is this the moment that changes Parker's whole career? Or are there even bigger dangers coming after finding all this gold? This is where the mystery begins. To know the whole story, you need to watch until the very end. Because what's about to be told will shake up the entire gold mining world. If you don't want to miss these amazing Gold Rush stories and Parker's next big discovery, subscribe to the channel right now and turn on notifications. Let's talk about the background of Yukon and the collapsed mineshaft. The story starts in Yukon. This place might sound like some faraway cold place, but in the world of gold mining, just hearing its name makes people think of treasure everywhere. The Klondike Gold Rush that started in 1896 put Yukon on the world map forever. Thousands of people left their homes and came here just hoping they would find gold as soon as they dug into the ground. And it happened many times. Since then, people started calling Yukon the Gold Land or the Land of Treasures. But as valuable as the gold here is, getting it out is just as dangerous. The mining holes that were made back in those days to get gold were very temporary and poorly built. Deep holes were dug by putting up wooden support beams, and dirt was piled on top. As time went by, this wood would rot away, the dirt would fall in, and many times the whole shaft would completely collapse. These are called collapsed shafts. If someone got trapped inside, it was impossible to get out. On top of that, the freezing cold ground, water seeping in, and no oxygen to breathe. All these things together made it like a death trap. So why do people like Parker Schnabel go down into such dangerous places? Because the old-time miners would often quit after doing only half the work. They would find gold, but sometimes it was buried so deep that it wasn't easy to get it out. They would abandon the shaft, and it would slowly fall apart and get buried under all the rubble. That means these places become like time capsules full of possible treasure. Parker got a tip about an old shaft in Yukon. Some people say it was found on an old map that was marked by miners around 1900. Other people believe that Parker got this tip from rumors or a local miner who knew the area, and some reports say that the Discovery Channel team found it mentioned in old papers during their research. Whatever the real reason was, this was not an opportunity Parker was going to miss. The love for gold runs in his blood, and whenever he finds a hidden source, he never backs down. But this time, the danger was much bigger than usual. Going into a collapsed shaft meant putting his life on the line. Dirt or rocks could fall from above at any moment. But Parker understood that. High risk means high reward. This was the reason why he decided to go after this old and dangerous shaft in Yukon. At that time, probably no one had any idea that this journey would lead him to a $75 million gold jackpot. When Parker Schnabel found out about that old and collapsed shaft in Yukon, he first realized one thing. This job was not going to be like any normal day of mining. The danger here was extremely high. Parker has always been someone who takes risks, but this time the risk could cost him his career, and maybe even his life. First of all, Parker came up with a mining plan. His strategy was clear. Instead of digging straight down into the shaft, first, they would remove dirt from all around it, so the pressure would be reduced a little bit. Then slowly, they would clear a path by working in small sections. Parker knew that if he went inside without thinking it through, one big rock falling from above could bury his entire team. Now, let's talk about his team. Parker never does anything by himself. His trusted team is always there with him. Mitch Blashick, Parker's most trusted friend and master of all machinery. If a big machine breaks down, Mitch is the only person who can fix it. People like Rick and Brennan had been working with Parker for many seasons, and they knew that when Parker gets stubborn about something, it means something big is about to happen. There were also new people on the team who were going to be part of such a big risk for the first time. When it came to machinery, Parker didn't cut any corners. Big digging machines, dump trucks, and most importantly, drilling equipment. These machines were brought in specifically so they could remove dirt slowly before going inside the shaft and keep the pressure from above under control. Parker also made sure they had strong safety measures. Hard hats, oxygen masks, ropes, and an emergency exit plan were all ready because Parker knew that life is more important than gold. But honestly, the mood wasn't relaxed at all. Fear was clearly visible on everyone's faces. Nobody dreams of going into a collapsed shaft. Complete darkness, falling rocks, water dripping everywhere. Every single step was like inviting death to come closer. Some people even tried to talk Parker out of it, saying it wasn't worth the risk. But Parker's answer was always the same thing. If finding gold was that easy, everyone would be mining it. This was how Parker thought. For him, the desire for gold wasn't just about money. It was about carrying on his name, his passion, and the legacy of his grandfather. John Schnabel. In Parker's mind, only that gold discovery mattered, and everything else was just background noise to him. When the team finally got ready and the machines started running, the whole place looked like a war zone. Everyone was scared, but Parker's determination and the dream of finding gold was stronger than that fear. Everyone had only one question on their mind: is there really a treasure worth $75 million hidden inside this collapsed shaft? When Parker Schnabel and his team finally decided to go down into that collapsed shaft in Yukon, the whole atmosphere had completely changed. People standing outside could only hear the sound of heavy machinery working, but the real story was being written inside that dark, dangerous tunnel. As soon as the team took their first step into the shaft, a strange cold and wetness greeted them. It was completely dark inside. The walls were only lit up by the dim light from their headlamps. Wet dirt, broken pieces of wood, and the dripping sound of water leaking in from everywhere were creating a really scary atmosphere. There was danger with every step they took. Small rocks kept falling from above, and every time they heard that sound, everyone's heart would skip a beat. Nobody could tell if the next moment would be safe for them or if it would be deadly. Parker kept encouraging his team over and over again. Walk slowly. Be careful. Just a little bit further. As they moved deeper inside, the air started feeling thin and heavy to breathe. They needed to put on oxygen masks. In some places, water had leaked in so much that they had to walk through mud and water that came up to their knees. The cameras were recording everything, but the real fear couldn't be fully captured on camera. You could only see it in the team's eyes. And then came the moment that Parker and his team had been waiting for. As soon as the light from the headlamp hit one of the walls, something sparkled from there. At first, everyone thought it was just a wet rock reflecting light. But as soon as Parker scraped away the dirt with his hand, the shine became much brighter. This wasn't just an ordinary rock. It was a huge piece of gold that was half buried in the soil. The whole team went completely silent for a few seconds. The only sounds you could hear were people breathing and hearts beating fast. Parker immediately looked toward the camera. There was both shock and happiness in his eyes. The rest of the team was also in complete disbelief, like someone had seen gold in a dream and it suddenly became real. Mitch said quietly, "Holy crap, this is really gold." And that one line made everyone forget their fear for a moment. Everyone came closer to look at that shining piece of metal. The camera clearly captured the first look at that gold. That moment was probably the most exciting and biggest moment in the entire history of the Gold Rush show. But Parker knew this was just the beginning. If gold was so clearly visible in one spot, then there had to be more hidden treasures around it. Now there was less fear and more greed in everyone's eyes. That same greed that had forced them to take this dangerous journey through the collapsed shaft. The first look at gold inside the tunnel had completely shaken up Parker and his team. But the real story started when they began digging all around that area. Parker signaled to his team, "Remove the dirt slowly and carefully. It's possible that not just one piece, but a whole treasure chest is buried here." And that's exactly what happened. As they removed more soil, more pieces of gold started coming out of the ground. In some places, big gold nuggets were buried deep, while in other places gold dust and tiny flakes were stuck to the walls. There were some huge chunks that had to be removed using heavy machinery. The shine was so bright that when the headlamp light mixed with it, the entire shaft was covered in golden color. Parker's reaction at that moment was clearly caught on camera. Surprise, happiness, and a little bit of nervousness too. He looked at the camera and said, "This is just insane. I can't believe this is happening." The rest of the team started laughing and looking at each other, but you could clearly see the greed and amazement in their eyes. Then came time for the biggest count of all. When all the gold was collected and weighed, everyone stopped breathing after seeing the final number. Parker's team estimated that they had found gold worth about $75 million from this collapsed shaft. This was a record-breaking moment, not just for Parker, but for the entire history of the Gold Rush TV show. So far on Gold Rush, we've seen miners like Parker, Tony Beats, and Todd Hoffman make big discoveries many times. Someone would make tens of thousands of dollars in a season, while someone else would pull out 5,000 ounces of gold. But a jackpot worth $75 million. This was beyond anyone's wildest imagination. This was the biggest gold find of Parker's career so far. A moment that made him not just a champion of mining, but a legend of the Gold Rush world. This discovery was so huge that even the production team of the show was completely stunned. It's said that even the crew behind the cameras shouted, "Oh my God." Parker himself was speechless for several minutes. For him, this wasn't just about the price of gold. It was the biggest reward for his hard work, risk-taking, and honoring the legacy of his grandfather, John Schnabel. And if we compare numbers, Parker alone found more gold from this one collapsed shaft than entire teams had pulled out together in previous seasons of Gold Rush. This is why this discovery is called the game-changing moment of the show. That day, that dark and collapsed shaft in Yukon gave Parker Schnabel what he had been searching for since he was a child. A golden jackpot that shook up the entire mining world. The journey to get that gold might look as amazing as it sounds, but it was just as terrifying. Every step inside that collapsed shaft in Yukon was like playing with death for Parker and his team. People watching from the outside might have thought everything was under control, but the situation inside was completely different. The walls of the shaft were so weak that dirt and rocks could fall down at any time. Many times, big pieces would fall from above, and team members would barely escape getting hurt. Once a rock fell right next to Mitch. If he had been just one step forward, the story might have ended very differently today. Right at that moment, Parker yelled loudly and told everyone to stop, and ordered them to check the tunnel again for safety. Some people from the team also got injured during the work. Someone got a cut on their hand. Someone else got a minor injury on their head. There was so much dirt and dust flying around that for some time, 2 people from the team started having trouble breathing. They had to be taken out while wearing oxygen masks. Parker himself admits that if they had made even one wrong move, the entire operation could have ended in disaster right there. Seeing so many difficulties, the team often wondered if they should just stop and give up. Some people even told Parker directly, "No treasure is worth more than our lives." But Parker's answer was always the same. "If we quit now, we'll regret it for the rest of our lives." This stubborn attitude kept forcing the team to move forward. Again and again now. Let's talk about Discovery Channel and what they showed on TV. Whatever was shown on camera was only half the real truth. On television, viewers saw Parker's hard work, the shine of gold, and the team's victory. But the real dangers, accidents, and the fear that was written on everyone's faces every single second, a large part of that never made it in front of the public. It's said that the production team edited out some footage, so this journey wouldn't look too dangerous on TV. But reports from local people and inside crew members tell us that the conditions were much worse than what was shown on television. Just imagine if every injury, every accident, and every moment when rocks fell was shown in the episodes. Then the audience would have been scared, and the team would have looked completely crazy. But Parker and his team faced all of that, and finally won that $75 million jackpot. So it wouldn't be wrong to say that this season of Gold Rush wasn't just a search for gold, it was a battle between life and death. Parker's team proved that getting gold isn't easy at all. And sometimes this journey can turn out to be more dangerous than the treasure is worth. As soon as Parker Schnabel's $75 million gold jackpot was shown on Gold Rush, fans all over the world went absolutely crazy. Social media completely exploded. Thousands of posts started appearing on Twitter, now called X, Facebook, and Instagram. Some people were calling Parker the King of Yukon, while others were calling him the biggest legend in Gold Rush history. The video clips went viral on YouTube, with millions of views. People were watching the same moment over and over again. When Parker and his team saw their first glimpse of gold, everyone in the comments section was writing the same thing. This was a bigger and more exciting scene than any Hollywood movie. The fans went so crazy that many people started thinking of Parker as no less than a superhero. Some funny internet memes also went viral where Parker was shown holding a gold nugget instead of Thor's hammer. Long discussion threads were created on forums like Reddit. Did Parker really find that much gold? Or did Discovery Channel exaggerate it to make it more exciting? These discussions increased the mystery and suspense all over the internet. Now let's talk about the media coverage. Headlines appeared in big news websites and newspapers. Parker Schnabel hits $75 million gold jackpot. Gold rush history made in Yukon. Collapsed shaft turns into treasure cave. Many news channels mentioned Parker's name during primetime shows. In interviews, Parker was asked the same question over and over again. Did you have any idea you were going to find such a huge jackpot? Parker would smile every time and say, "We took a risk, but nobody had imagined we'd get such amazing results." This discovery took Parker's popularity to incredible heights. He was already the star of Gold Rush, but now he wasn't just a TV personality. He became an icon of the entire mining world. People now started thinking of him not just as part of a show, but as the face of gold hunting everywhere. His followers on social media suddenly jumped to millions. Fans started sharing his old video clips and saying, "Look, Parker was special since he was young." Even some gold investment companies started using Parker's name to promote their businesses. Another interesting thing happened. Many new people from all over the world started watching the Gold Rush show for the first time. People who had never watched the show before started tuning in just to see Parker's amazing discovery. As a result, the show broke television rating records overall. Parker's $75 million jackpot wasn't just big news because of the gold. It also took the Gold Rush show to a completely new level. Parker was no longer just a gold digger. He had become a global sensation. Parker Schnabel's $75 million gold jackpot was as surprising as it was full of unanswered questions. As soon as the news came out, a new debate started among fans and experts. Was that much gold really found? Or was it just part of the drama that was shown on TV? Some people believe that Discovery Channel exaggerated the amount of gold to make the story more exciting and dramatic. They argued that only the biggest pieces were always shown on camera. But in reality, that much treasure probably wasn't actually found. Many people were writing on Reddit and social media, if Parker really found $75 million worth of gold, why didn't the government or big investors come forward to get involved? This question still hangs in the air without an answer. On the other hand, the history of Yukon itself is full of mystery. Stories from many old miners tell that they had deliberately hidden parts of their treasure. The reason was either they wanted to come back later, but never could, or the gold was so dangerous to get that they just left it there. Many local people believe that gold had been found in the shaft where Parker went before, but the entire treasure was never brought out. So was what Parker found just a small preview? And is the real treasure still buried deep in the soil of Yukon? Besides this, Yukon has another scary reputation: the Yukon curse. Local legends say that every big gold discovery here brings some kind of bad luck with it. In the old days, many miners suddenly disappeared without a trace. Some died in mysterious accidents, and some had their gold stolen from them. So the question is Parker's discovery also the beginning of some dark truth? Some fans say that, after the show aired, Parker and his team kept strangely quiet, as if they didn't want to tell everything they knew. There's no shortage of theories on the internet. One theory even says that the gold Parker took out was only what was found on the surface, and the real jackpot is still hidden deep underground. Some people say that Discovery Channel deliberately didn't show all the footage, so the mystery would continue into the next season. At the same time, some people also believe that Parker kept the real location of the gold secret, so that no other miner could claim it for themselves. All these discussions made Parker's discovery even more mysterious than before. Maybe only Parker and his team know what the real truth is, but one thing is for certain. The mountain of questions standing behind this jackpot is much bigger than the jackpot itself. The $75 million gold jackpot wasn't just a discovery for Parker. It was a turning point in his career that made his reputation even stronger. Before this, people knew him as a young miner or John Schnabel's grandson. But now, Parker has become the real face of the Gold Rush empire. Through his hard work and willingness to take risks, the effect of this discovery was clearly visible in his career. Parker is no longer just part of a TV show. He has become a big name in the gold mining industry. Investors, media, and mining experts all started paying attention to him. And Parker himself knows that after this jackpot, there's only one direction for him to go, even deeper into the search. Both his team and fans are wondering what Parker will do next. Will he look for more collapsed shafts in Yukon? Will he dig more around the area where he already found gold? Parker even said in an interview, "This is just the beginning. The real story is yet to come." This one sentence made his fans even more excited, because if $75 million is just the beginning, then imagine what's going to happen next. And yes, this jackpot was like a huge blessing for the Gold Rush show as well. The show's television ratings went through the roof, and now everyone is waiting for the next season. The producers also realized that Parker's determination and his risk-taking style is the show's biggest strength. So friends, Parker's $75 million gold jackpot from that collapsed shaft in Yukon became the biggest moment in Gold Rush history. But the question still remains, where will this take Parker next? Just imagine, if this much gold can be found in one collapsed shaft, then how much more treasure is buried under the soil of Yukon? Will Parker go even deeper next time? Or will the stories of Yukon's curse start affecting him after this discovery? All these things remain a mystery even today. But one thing is crystal clear. Parker has proved that gold isn't just found by luck. It's found through courage, determination, and putting your life on the line. This discovery has given Parker the position that every miner dreams of having. The exciting part is that Parker's journey isn't over yet. The $75 million jackpot was just the first step for him. And as he said, this is just the beginning. This statement is the biggest mystery of this whole story. So will Parker find an even bigger treasure next time? Or will Yukon keep its secrets buried forever? The answer will be revealed in the times to come, and in the next season of Gold Rush. And yes, if you don't want to miss Parker's next discovery and the hidden stories of Yukon, then subscribe to the channel right now, and press the bell icon, because the truth that's coming is even bigger and you won't want to miss it.